Wow, wow. Hey, Grand Rising, Kingdom greetings, Great Awakening. Come on in. Welcome to the Transitioning Table. Yes, where we are transitioning from one thing to the other, from married to being divorced, from being single to being married, from one transitioning from one country to another country, from out of one religion to another, from out of religion to our spirituality. We are in transition no matter what the transition is. It's all about us. Yes, it's all about who we are and taking charge of our lives and taking charge of our environment, taking charge. Yeah, so today on the transitioning table, I just want to come and speak. You see my title? Yes, my title is all about who? That's what I said. Who this Joshua generation is. You know, who is this Joshua generation? You know, or even what is this Joshua generation? Because a lot of us don't know. We are here, but we don't know. We don't know. Exactly what's going on, what's happening, what's transitioning, what's taking place. You know, yeah, and so we have to pay attention. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. So, welcome once again to the transitioning table. Yes, with me, your host, the warrior queen. I guess they call me, or I call myself. One time ago, I had Kim Favita up there. Some people call me apostle, some people call me prophet. My children call me mommy. My grandchildren call me nana. Some call me friends, and some see me as foe. But it doesn't matter anymore. You understand? It just matters what you call yourself. Because people call you anything, what you answer to. That is the question. What are you answering to? And so that is where we are at. So we want to know who, who is this Joshua generation? Um, and what does it look like? What does this Joshua generation look like? What does it look like? Um, one time ago when we were in Christianity, we just thought the Joshua generation was a set of Christians. Depending on the religion that you're in, you just thought it was you. We talk about let's say the Jehovah Witness. Some people call them Jehovah Witness and stuff like that. 7 Day Adventists. So the Jehovah Witness thought it was them. They were the 144,000. They were the righteous seed. Now you have more than 144,000 Jehovah Witness. So what's going to happen to the rest of your people who diligently believe? How are you going to select who is going to be the 144,000? Um, I know some of you may have seen some of my videos in the past, and I said, now that you find out that you're Bantu, now what? What's the next? Now we're realizing that, yes, there's some power, some clout, some things to the Bantu. We know that, but it's even bigger than that. And I said it, I said it's much bigger than that. Um, but nevertheless, um, what do you do? What do you do? And so today I wanted to talk about what this Joshua generation look like in lieu of the revolution or the movement that is transpiring here in Kenya. I know it's worldwide, it's global now. Everybody is seeing it. It's on CNN, it's on majority of the Al Jazeera and all these other news stations and stuff like that. Um, what does it mean? Some people were calling me and asking my opinion on it. Well, how do I see it? What do I see? Um, some persons messaged me, what is it? What does it look like spiritually over Kenya and stuff like that? And for me, I'm in such a good place, you know. Um, we quote the scripture, nothing really catch the Most High, the divine creator, by surprise. But for me, nothing really moves me, takes me by surprise anymore. One time ago, yes, but now I'm to the place where as I'm just I just live in a place of expectancy of something to happen somehow, some way. But more so when you are in tune with the Most High, when you're in tune and you've already said some things and you said some things, you just sit back and wait for it to happen. Wait for the it to come from the spirit to into the natural. Would we say wait for it to manifest? And that is what we're seeing. We're seeing manifestation of some prophetic words that we spoke and stuff like that. Like one, there are many prophets that said that revival will be coming from the east. And there are so many that have a prophecy over Kenya saying that a revival will start in Kenya. So my question there again would be, could this be what the Joshua generation looks like? Because let's break it down. Let's how I should say it. Let's pick through it when we use, yeah, let's use the Moses situation and stuff like that. When we look at Moses grew up in, they say, Pharaoh's house in a strange land. He did not grow up among his people, due to the fact of the story saying that they were killing out male children at certain age and stuff like that. And Moses' mother had him secret, put him in a bushel, put him down the Nile, and set him on his way. The sister watched him. Miriam watched him go, and Pharaoh's daughter took her. Then Pharaoh's daughter went there, and she needed somebody to nurse, so she went and called her mom. So Moses' mother was able to nurse him. Okay, so he grew up inside Pharaoh's house. According to what they tell us, you understand? And then moving from there, he grew up and became a man. And for some reason, the taskmaster became overbearing with the people. They were whipping them and beating them to build. They became unbearable. And so Moses didn't like what he see. But the thing about it is this: Moses didn't have their DNA in them. Moses didn't have, let me re-say that. Moses didn't have their DNA in him. So for him, that did not resonate or sit in him well. You know? It didn't sit in him well. So he, there again, did something about it. What did he do? What did Moses do? He killed. Yes, he killed. He killed. And then after he killed, he ran away. Well, actually, he didn't run away. He stayed because he thought nobody saw what he did. And after he didn't think nobody saw what he did, when he went again, and he was, approached, addressed by it, then he was like, "Ooh, who else saw this?" Before this get into Pharaoh's ears, what Pharaoh see what he did and stuff like that, or hear what he did and stuff like that. He ran away. You're trying to figure, you're saying, well, where is she going with this? Because after Moses ran away, because I'm thinking about, if you really, really think logically, if you think about where we are at right now, you would see the older generation had a problem with what was going on. They did something about it, but coming time to bring about a change, they made excuses. It's like the Most High is like, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. Me, I got a speech impediment. We make all kind of excuses. Some people become comfortable in an environment that they're in, so they don't want to move. So Moses ran away. Moses went into the wilderness. Actually, he went into another kingdom and spent some time there, got married, didn't have no children with that lady that he married. She got fed up. They separated. He went into the wilderness again for another set of years. They say he married Jethro's daughter. And in that being married to Jethro's daughter is when he was called back to go and guess what? I need you to go and free my people. Go and tell Pharaoh, let my people go. So now, let's liken that to this not just Gen Z generation. Let's liken it onto, say, Gen X or baby boomers. Let me put it like that. Let's liken Moses onto the baby boomers. Go and tell Pharaoh, let my people. The yoke all have this is like the colonizers. That's what you call them. Yeah, the colonizers. So baby boomers were the ones who faced the colonizers. Yeah, the baby boomers is the ones who face the colonizers and say, hey, let our people go. We ain't staying colonized no more. We want out of this slavery. We want out of this mess that y'all holding us into. So that's the baby boomers. The baby boomers is the ones who was the ones who gone and break that barrier, that thing saying, let my people, let the people go. We don't want to be in bondage to you no more. We no longer want slavery. That's the baby boomers. I'm trying to get you because you see what does Gen Z look like? What does this generation, this Joshua generation looks like? So the baby boomers was the ones who fought the colonizers and all that stuff and, get us free from the colonizers that we could come out. But they only could bring us so far. They only could bring us so far. So now you have the next generation, what they call us, Generation X. That X generation, that generation that has no ties with the colonizers. We're not too far from it because guess what? Those ones who were in the wilderness, think about it. Now, baby boomers bring us out into the wilderness because we came out with the baby boomers. They were having their children at the same time too. So we come out with the baby boomers from the colonized. So we're not too far from what colonization was. Missouri. We're not too far from what the colonizers was. So now you got baby boomers and Gen X. That's us. Out there in the wilderness, we fighting and we tugging it out and stuff like that. But guess what happened to us, Generation X? We still stuck on Pharaoh. We still stuck on how things was and what it tastes like and that food and all that different stuff. You understand? We want go back to give me those good old days. That's what Gen X want. Give me that good old days. So Gen X in the wilderness with some of the baby boomers, and guess what's happening? Baby boomers dying off, and Gen X is dying off. Because why? We're comfortable now. Gen X is comfortable. We got our little house, we got our little car, we got our little businesses set up and stuff like that. So whatever Pharaoh's coming back at us now to put us back in bondage again. So baby boomers, like, you won't put us back in bondage, but we're comfortable. So Gen X is comfortable, baby boomers are comfortable, but they're dying out. And what are they doing? Dying out and leaving a debt. Now here comes Gen X having these millennials. And these millennials are being born. So these millennials are so privileged because they don't know what Gen X going through in terms of walking to school and walking home and making do what they have, because now Gen X making it a little bit more easier for the millennials. So they no longer just eat what you put on the table. I don't want that. I want steak and eggs. I don't eat porridge. I want grits and tuna. Those of you know, or I want scrambled eggs. I want pancakes. I want waffles. That's millennials. You see what's going on? So we're trying to, I'm talking about what does the Joshua generation look like? Because We keep on talking about this Joshua generation. And I believe baby boomers thought they were Joshua generation. I believe Gen X think they were the Joshua generation. I even believe the millennials believe that they are the Joshua generation. But when you look historically at it, none of us are the Joshua generation. None of us has that mentality of, I stand up for my rights no matter what. This next generation called Gen Z, they question everything. You ain't just spoon feeding them the colonizers' lies. You ain't just feeding them chicklings, pig feet, the scrappings of what the colonizers do not want. That's what the Joshua generation looks like. You ain't just giving us your idols. You ain't just shoving your JC, your Muhammad down our throats. We're questioning why you believe what you believe. That's what the Joshua generation looks like. Don't give me sugar honey iced tea and call it peanut butter. Don't give me crap and tell me it's Nutella. That's what the Joshua generation looks like. So now, baby boomers get us out of colonization. Gen X get us to now think business-wise and integrating and being able to, watch this now, mix and mingle and like to, you understand? Millennials got the what you call the computer age, and we Gen X had the computers and stuff like that too. But then with us, we had the beepers and the pages, and we had the house phones. But on the edge of us coming out of that was when the millennials come on scene, and we start having the, what you call them, the Nokias and stuff like that, the cell phones. Now Gen Z come on scene, we got smartphones and we got these chips they trying to put inside them and stuff like that. What does Gen Z look like? What does the Joshua generation look like? The Joshua generation is a mixture. Remember, if you read that scripture properly, when Moses bringing the children out of Israel, according to what they tell us, it was a mixed multitude that went with them. So now, what they try to do to us, think about this now. I want y'all to please hear me. When some of us, that was 40, oh, glory. It was 40 years, right? In the wilderness. 40 years in the wilderness. How many years we've now been awoke to who we are as a people? It's only 4 years. So what took them 40 years to get it together? 4 years. Are we rising up? And he's telling some of us, Gen X, to help Gen Z. Because that's the Joshua generation. Don't die with the baby boomers not preparing and equipping Gen Z for what is to come. Because Gen Z is not just hearing what you say. They're questioning it. They're not obligated. Because watch this. The Most High, according to the story, told Joshua. Because Moses allowed the baby boomers to cause him not to be able to go into the promise, not to see the change that was coming, not to be able to enjoy the good of the land. There are some people that are not going to be able to enjoy the good of the land in this next move because why? They stuck in religion. They stuck in tribalism. They stuck in, I'm an indigenous American. I'm indigenous to the Caribbean. I'm indigenous too. The Joshua generation understand not only themselves, but also the mixed multitude that came out with them. We need you also to fight this battle. We can't fight this just as Bantu. We can't fight this just as Nilots. We can't fight this just as Cushites. We can't fight this just as Amorites. We can't. We got to come together for the next move, and we got to get out of religion and get into spirituality. That's what the Joshua generation look like. We have to depend on the Most High, to the divine Creator. It ain't gonna be Muhammad. It ain't gonna be Buddha. It ain't gonna be Selassie. And it definitely ain't gonna be Jay-Z. It's gonna be a collective spirituality that we tap into the divine Creator and allow him to go before us and help. What did he tell Joshua? Be thou not afraid, be very courageous, for I am with you. Are you hearing the cry of the Joshua generation? What are they saying? We are not afraid. We are not afraid. Tell my mommy, if I die, I've done my best. That's the courageousness. That's the Joshua generation. They're not bowing to the systems of this world anymore. They're not giving in to the systems of this world. They're not, tell me and I just can do. I can keep on doing. Why? Explain. I know better now. So the hearts of the powers that be are so hardened. And not because they wanted to be hardened. Who hardened the heart of Pharaoh according to the scripture they give us? It was the Most High. Who's hardening the hearts of leaders today? It ain't them. It's the Most High. Because the Joshua generation got to rise up and bring about the change that is needed. And not just to change for themselves. It's not an individual thing. It's a global thing. Did you see my video for the global migration? This is a global move. It may seem isolated, but it's not isolated. I was going to use the word insulated. It is in us for freedom, for justice, not for just self, for all, for our fellow kinsmen. So think 40 years ago. What do you remember about 40 years ago? What do you remember about 20 years ago? See, the Moses generation, the baby boomers, died in the wilderness. But not everyone died in the wilderness. They didn't tell us the full story. Not everyone died in the wilderness, but bulk of them died. But there was a Joshua. They tell us everybody from 25 and younger came out. But Caleb was in his 80s. Joshua was in his 80s. So why we call them the Joshua generation? Because it was a generation that Joshua helped lead. So they took on the title or the name of their leader. Not because of his age, but his leadership, to pour into them, to show them the way, to teach them the strategies, the tactics, the ways of the Most High, not his own ways, of the Most High. 40 years. What are we doing to teach Gen Z the truth of who they are, the power that is within inside of them? We got to teach them the truth. We got to get out of this divide and conquer mentality, this hate and this bitterness and this anger mentality. These young people are uniting across board. Here in Kenya, these Gen Z are not seeing tribe anymore because the majority of their Gen X, the majority of their Gen X has intermarried. So you got Bahamians marrying Kenyans, Kenyans marrying Americans, Tanzanians marrying Kenyans. You understand? We are cross-pollinated. Some of us are not. We are cross-pollinated. And that is what is upon us now. Remember in the wilderness, mixed multitude went out with them. You want to know what Gen Z look like? It's a mixed multitude. I told you all last year or year before, you can be heartbroken, hurt when you see people of Caucasian get their blood tested, especially those of us who were in the Bantu movement, Bantu. You see Caucasian that have Bantu blood. Heartbroken is impossible. You run your hating. But there's a cross-pollination that had taken place with Gen X in the wilderness. There's a cross-pollination took place. So not only what you call them Israelites or what you call Bantus came out of the wilderness. It was mixed up. Mixed blood. Mixed race, mixed people. Now be careful who we hate. You don't know who your savior is. Oh, I know, I hear so much different things. And I know some people can watch this video and they will condemn me or talk about me, but I can give you what the Most High, what is laid and rest inside of. And that's it. So Gen X has a mind to unite, not to divide and conquer. They want what is best, not even just for themselves, but for the future. That's what they want. A lot of times, because of what we've been taught and how we've been taught, we come with our pre-notion, our pre-idea of what it's going to be. We don't open ourselves to let the divine creator unveil, release, show us. We still come with what somebody else say. We still come with other people's doctrines and teaching. And until then, you're going to continue to be in the wilderness, running around. You still keep on waiting on a Messiah to show up, and it would elude you. Because it's not a restoration of just one people, one sector of people, one sect of people. Is a restoration of kingdoms. It's a restoration of kingdoms. And so we have to put away our pre-notion of what this restoration going to look like? Put away the hate and the bitterness. Oh, I hate the Mzungus. I hate the Caucasians because they did this and because they did that and they put us in slavery. Slavery was only an interruption to who we were. And our very own sold us into slavery. What about, I told you all in the migration video, what about the Arabs who put us into slavery? What about our very own brothers and sisters who put us into, made us slaves? Slavery was only an interruption into who we were. Let me say this, and I can go on record saying this. You could email me if you choose to. You could unsubscribe from me if you choose to. You all know I am not about big on how much subscribers I have. That don't move me. Most important thing for me is walking in obedience and giving out whatever's rest in my spirit, my Mwanda, to give to the people. That's the most important thing. I want to ask this question. If the colonizers could strategize, I don't know how many of you read the Willie Lynch letter. The Willie Lynch letter was teaching slave owners how they would be able to continue keeping us in slavery up to 200 years in advance. So they teach us in school to do a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan. But they were taught how to do 100 years plan for their children and their children's children and their children, down to the 4 generations of planning they're being taught. But for us, we've only been taught to do 10 years. Anybody else been taught for more than, how to do a strategy for more than 10 years, please let me know. But I know when in university and in high school, not well, in high school didn't too much to do it, but in university and college, they only taught you to do 5 years, 10 years. If they taught you more, please, you could correct me. So my question again is, if they have a 100-year, 200-year plan down the road, they know, let me tell you, my two brothers and sisters, they knew that the 400 years, according to the scripture they gave us with Abraham was coming to an end. When it was coming to an end, they knew about the ship, they quote unquote, is the first ship from Angola to come to America, which we were there before that first ship came there. But that ain't what they want to tell you. We were there 100 years before that first ship, they quote unquote tell us was from Angola, came to America. Do your research. I doing your research for you. We were there already. They already had some of us in slavery there before and the Angola thing. That's what I find out after the fact. I find that out after the fact. I was big on the 400 years thing also. So if they knew the 400 years was coming to an end, what is their strategy plan for the other 200 years from the 400 years? We are 4 years in. We are 4 years in. So my question there again is, now you say, okay, well, so what's your question? What's your question? They gave us Christianity to box us in, to limit us. They give us religion. Let me put it like that. They give us religion. So you got your Christianity, you got your Islam, you got your Buddhism, you got your Hindu, you got, they give us our religion. So they give us religion to contain us. Then they know who we are as melanated people. So then what they do, they knew it. We were starting to wake up. We starting to agitate. We wanted it to know more. So they tell us that we are Hebrews. We're Israelites. When we came to find out, that's only a pitch stop. That's just another religion that is funded by these people. Do your research. These people who call themselves Hebrews and these Hebrew camps got 501c3. Who are they being funded by? Okay. Now we was battling and fighting with that and fighting with that and fighting that. We come out of Christianity and Islam, and now we got this Hebrew Israelite because we supposed to be now that's the black people religion. That's the melanated people, who they are. They're the chosen people. Okay. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying because we have to learn, unlearn, and relearn because we're trying to figure out this Joshua generation and what they look like. What does Joshua generation look like? Coming of Christianity, Hebrew, now we get a Bantu awakening. Who gave us the Bantu awakening? Who tell us who are Bantus, who are Nilotes, who are Cushites, who are Hamites? Who give us this again? Okay, the DNA. So they give us these DNA tests and whatever have you, and they tell you 2% European, 14% Hispanic, 23% Nigerian, West Africa, 4% East Africa. Where they get the information from? You see what make you think? Just as we know that the lion pen of the scribe has done some things to us in terms of the scriptures that we read and stuff like that. That's why I felt I listen to me. I wanted it. I agree. I wanted it to throw away the Bible and burn it. But I learned to use it now as a reference to talk to people for examples of what we've been taught to know. So we can learn how to navigate. So they bring us into the Bantu awakening. So even in the Bantu awakening, we bring Christianity with us. We bring our ways with us. Could it be another pit stop that they gave us to isolate us and to separate us and bring division? That's all. Y'all can come for me if you want. It's okay. I'm just asking the questions because later on I can hear you. Oh, something's going on with my thing. Ooh-wee. I'm loving this. Yes. I'm loving this. I'll praise this. Just ask me the question. Let us learn, unlearn, relearn. What's happening? What does this Joshua generation look like? Is it the Gen Zs and beyond? Is this the millennials? Is it a mixture? Gen X? Because it's a mixed multitude. It was a divide from the 85 all the way to newborns. And they had a command. The command was to go across this Jordan in 3 days. Prepare yourself to cross this Jordan. What is this Jordan? The Jordan is supposed to be a hard place. Cross this hard place, this place that seems difficult, this place that seems impossible to pass, this place of this dogma, this isolated mindset. This mindset is all about me, myself, and I, my tribe, my clan, my people. Cross this Jordan, this hard place of isolation. And there's some people in the land that you're going to have to contend with. What are you going to do? They saying they're going to go into war to fight. Were they really fighting the people, or they were fighting the way that the people was living, the lifestyle that the people were living to inhabit their land? We don't know. That's according to what they tell us. But let's use it in a practical way now. Let's use that crossing that Jordan to a place where, as we are at right now, we're in a place of crossing over from all the things that we knew, all the things that they taught us. How do we come together as a people to make it better for ourselves and our children and our children's children and our children's children, for the next generations to come? Because this is a world with end. We're in this world for an experience. We are spiritual beings having this physical experience. And until we truly understand the magnitude of the experience this we're supposed to be having, the teaching that we're supposed to be having, and the things that we're supposed to learn. So when we exit fulfilled. People say empty, but no, it's about being fulfilled, enjoying every aspect of the journey that you're on. Yeah. So, what does this Joshua generation look like? This Joshua generation look like a mixed multitude coming together for one particular purpose and cause, and was liberate the people from taskmasters. Liberate the people to serve the Most High in the beauty of spirituality, oneness with the Most High, with the divine. Being able to eat. Think about it. When they were in the wilderness, everybody ate the same thing. Nobody, this said have steak, this one have pork chops, this one have chicken. Everyone ate the same thing. This is commonwealth. That's what the kingdom is all about. Commonwealth. That's what the Joshua generation supposed to be about. Commonwealth, that everyone has a roof over their head and food to eat and clothes on their back. That's what it's supposed to be. It ain't supposed to be our brothers and sisters sleeping out on the streets. Don't know where the next meal coming from. Clothes are tattered and torn. And no one Samaritan can pass and bandage them up and lift them up and have a place for them to rest their heads. That's what this Joshua generation is supposed to look like. All things common. Commonwealth. Can we get to that place? Can we get to that place? Are we heading to that place? They say revival is supposed to break out from the east and spread. Could what is happening right now be the onset of that revival? We think the revival will start in church. I already told you all before. I said it in several of my videos before. The revival they expecting to come from the church will not happen. This revival is not going to be moved or orchestrated or led by no religious organization. It's going to be the people bringing about a change. Revive us. Restore us back to who we are, who we were. Restore us back to our rightful place. Restore our inheritance as a people. And restore our dignity. Yeah, that's what this is all about. Restore the fact that we will be able to feed our children and our children's children. Restore. That's revival. This jumping up and down and turning 3 times and everybody shouting and said the Holy Ghost, that's not revival. That's a form. That was something that has been passed on and taught. True revival is a restoration of a nation and its people. It's people being able to eat and sleep in comfort. True revival. Revive us again. Restore us to who we are, to our rightful places and positions. They say, but who could collect the biggest offering? Come to revival. I see 10 of y'all inside. You have $1,000. I see 5 of y'all and you got 500. I see 100 of y'all could do 20. That's not real revival. If there's no change in the nation, let's think about what they quote unquote called Pentecost. Pentecost was not, anyway, one church having a revival, according to what they tell us. Pentecost was more than 100 people, 21 people, but that's how much they said it was left. That brought about change to the whole nation, to the whole region. That's what revival is supposed to do. Bring change to a whole region, to the people. So yeah, Kenya is going through its labor pains. What seems to be a revolting, but they call it some call it a revolution. But I believe out of this, the revival or restoration of a people back to a kingdom way of practice, kingdom way of doing things, kingdom way of taking care of its people. That's my belief. What you see happening here, it's all about the restoration of kingdom. And I am at peace. I'm at peace. When I tell you I'm at peace, I am so at peace. Yes, there are some who have become casualties of this, and may they rest with the ancestors. May the ancestors welcome them. May they rest, ancestors, as many have gone before them. Their innocent blood will cry out and speak for them. I encourage you, my brothers and sisters, to don't lose hope. Don't lose faith. Don't lose yourself in what you see happening and going on. Trust and believe and know that the Most High, the divine creator, some of us call him Tatan and Zambi, some say Sununi Nanini, some say Kikuswa Congo, some say Gai, some say Mungu. I choose to say the Most High, the divine creator, is allowing us to see and experience transitions and restoration. It's allowing us to experience the best of times at the same time. I won't call it the worst of times because change is inevitable. And sometimes with change comes resistance. I saying everybody like change, but one thing they cannot do is stop change. Change is inevitable. Change is the only thing that is consistent. And I am so, so, so grateful. So grateful. So, so grateful to see and to be a part of, to witness the evolving, the manifestation of the Joshua generation. This is what the Joshua generation looks like. Resilient, bold, and full of tenacity and drive and fearless. That's what the Joshua generation looks like. Joshua generation look like a Esther that says, I go in before the king, and if I perish, I perish. Joshua generation look like Deborah and Barak, and the Barak say, I am not going without you. Joshua generation, bold and courageous. Joshua generation look like a Nehemiah on the wall. I'm doing a great work and I'm not coming down. A mixture of Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, even some baby boomers, and beyond. That's what the Joshua generation look like. It's a mixture. It ain't just one set of people. It's a mixture of us coming together with one voice, one purpose, one sound. We must unite. We must be for the people all the time, not some of the times. We must be resilient and love our brothers and sisters and see that none suffer lack. That's what the Joshua generation looks like. And I am so happy to be a part of the Joshua generation. And if this is what it took a spark. It took a spark. It took a voice crying in the wilderness. No! We will not bow, we will not bend, we will not give in to injustice, unfairness. We will not take dictatorship anymore. Our parents and our parents' parents and our parents' parents did that. They fought for us to have this freedom. That's what the baby boomers did. We will not allow you to take us back into slavery, back into colonization. Nah, we ain't doing it. I love you, family. Take care of yourself. Be courageous. Be vigilant. Stand. After doing all this, stand. Still stand. No. Change ain't coming. Change is consistent. Because change is always. Every day we change. Every moment, every second, every hour. We change. Change is taking place. And so, let's stand together. One people, united in love and service for each other. So, the Joshua generation looks like all of us uniting, standing together, and understanding, understanding, and overstanding what common wealth is and what it looks like. So, family, let us live life on purpose, by purpose, for purpose, with purpose. I love you. Nakupenda sana sana. Solo Quingy. Love you. And there's nothing you could do about it. Take care of yourself. Until next time. Much love, family.